At the beginning of every game, you're going to want to try and find a safe health pack to hack. You hack a safe health pack at the beginning of every game to get your bread and butter going. After hacking your safe health pack, put down your translocator in a safe area such as on the health pack and use your camo to get behind enemy lines. After getting behind them, unstealth and unload your clips onto the enemy. Low HP or isolated targets that don't do well in close combat such as Widowmaker make for good targets to flank since you can oftentimes kill them or bring them to very low HP before having to jump back with your translocator. So be sure to keep track of the enemy team's composition while looking around to see if you can see anyone with your passive. In this example, when I go to flank, I see that Widowmaker is a tad separated from her team. Before jumping on her, I keep a bit of distance from her so she doesn't hear me on stealth, as well as to check to see if anyone's approaching me from behind. Seeing that the coast is clear, I move up closer to Widowmaker before attacking her to ensure more damage and take her out. While doing this, you have to be careful of being caught by heroes with crowd control such as McCree, Roadhog, and Anna, as they can easily prevent you from using your translocator when you find yourself in a bad situation, so be sure to be aware of your surroundings before attempting to deal damage. In this example, I see Roadhog use his hook ahead of time, which allows me to be more aggressive. As I'm pushing forward, I see Hanzo targeting me, so after his first shot, as he's preparing for his next shot, I use my translocator to pull myself back to safety. If the enemy team is consistently playing together and has a lot of crowd control, it might be better to stick with your team and play with your frontline instead. After all, Sombra isn't really your typical assassin. She's more of a disruptor who can capitalize on taking out easy targets. You should try to keep in mind where fights are going to happen so that ahead of time you can try and hack health packs that will be nearby. This does three things. It prevents the enemy from obtaining the health pack, it allows your team to get a boost in health without having to completely leave the fight, and it builds your ultimate quicker. In this game, my team is pushing up towards the enemy near a choke. I throw my translocator back in case I get into trouble and use my ultimate on as many people as possible. I notice that my translocator ends up running out, so I play a bit more of a passive role since I wouldn't be able to have any way of escaping. Even though I take a bit more of a passive role, aside from using my EMP this fight, look how much ultimate charge I gained from the hacked health pack nearby. While we're still on topic, there are certain characters that you should try to be hacking. Basically, it's characters that heavily rely on their abilities to do their job, or characters that have channeled ultimates. So someone like Reinhardt is a great target to hack since for the most part he'll be holding up a shield majority of the time. Doomfist is also a good example. If you can manage to hack him, then he's basically useless and becomes very easy for anyone to kill. At the top left of your screen is a few heroes that are great hack targets. Just keep in mind that if you're trying to hack someone or a health pack, that'll get interrupted if you end up taking damage, so your best bet is to hack someone if they aren't focusing you or if you can manage to sneak up on them. For instance, in this game, while we're pushing towards the point, the enemy Roadhog uses his ultimate to push us back. Luckily, he doesn't hit me and I get my hack off, cancelling his ultimate, allowing my Winston to get back into the fight, which allows us to take the point. Your ultimate EMP can do the same thing that your hack can do and more. If you ever played Sombra, you may not realize that our EMP can also hack health packs. In one of the examples I showed earlier, I actually ended up hacking a nearby health pack with my ultimate. You can see that before the fight it was about to run out, and when I used my ultimate the timer reset. You shouldn't let this be the make or break point between whether or not you use your EMP, but it's something to keep in mind when you're team fighting, especially if you decide to use your translocator aggressively to assist your team in engaging. In addition to this, EMP also takes out enemy shields. Yes, Sombra's EMP does take out these shields, but I'm talking about these ones. Certain characters like Zarya and Zenyatta have shields built into their health, and her EMP can completely get rid of it, so try to keep that in mind as it makes characters with shields a lot weaker at the beginning of a fight. This includes people that are buffed by Lucio's sound barrier. If you want it to be more safe using your ultimate, you can instead position yourself with your stealth behind enemy lines and walk up to them so that you still have your translocator, or put yourself on high ground and drop down. This allows you to have an escape if enemies decide to focus you so that you can rejoin the fight to clean up. Other than that, you'll typically be using your ultimate more aggressively, throwing your translocator above where enemies are clumped up and getting a majority of the enemy team hacked. Just keep in mind that you should make sure that your team is nearby, otherwise you'll probably end up dying without gaining anything for your team. In this example, I dropped down from high ground onto Mercy, Zarya, and Zenyatta and used my EMP. Since Zenyatta's HP pool consists of mostly shields, it makes it very easy for me to take him out. Zarya on the other hand is 50% shield and 50% white health, so while she doesn't die immediately, this still helps greatly in taking her out, especially since she isn't able to use her shields. If an enemy Winston is ulting, be sure to hack him. His ultimate isn't channeled, but he'll lose all his mobility and he won't be able to continuously knock around targets since he doesn't have the mobility to jump forward after he's knocked them away. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to dodge damage such as a Diva Bomb and you don't have your translocator already placed, you can quickly throw it and use it before the Diva Bomb explodes to dodge it. During the time that Sombra's traveling through her translocator, she's invulnerable for a short period of time. As Sombra, you can take advantage of the spectator cam when you die. If you skip the kill cam, you can still see low HP targets through the spectator cam and call out their locations and let your team know that they're low. And lastly, I just wanted to mention 2 smaller tips. As Sombra, if you're stealthed, you can still reload, and that if you happen to mess up your positioning with your translocator, if you reactivate it, the cooldown will start sooner, allowing you to reposition it quicker. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you guys found this video useful. If it was, I'll start working on other ones for other characters. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's fine. I was lagging and he kept moving to spots where, like, you know how lagging.
What?